Okay, since the Germans are the attacker at this start of the game, they get the first half of the player turn. And for German turn 1, we did have all panzer units successfully do a blitz move, which was great. A blitz move for all you Flames of War fans out there. You get to roll on the dice there. If greater or equal to the skill, the unit leader in any teams within 6 inches may move 4 inches and fire as if they were halted. Nice little trick. Unfortunately, these guys here, they tried to cross into the woods and they all spectacularly failed their cross rolls. These Panzer IIIs and the commander there opened up on the poor innocent Somois over there and they failed. Okay, and that is the end of German player turn 1. And here we are at the bottom half of French turn 1. And what we ended up getting are our beloved Hotchkisses. They blitz moved successfully, so did the commander, obviously, but the commander moved a little bit extra so he can get the shots off at these Panzer IIs. Unfortunately, there's a little bias here, but unfortunately for the French, no knockouts, just bails. Here between the Panzer IIIs and the Somois over the rainbow, 3 of them got into a fight with them. Nothing. No results. I'm sorry, 2 of them. One can't see and the other was engaged with the commander here. Oops, there we go. There's the commander. And they took out the German commander's tank. Poof, but hey, now he's in the little mini Panzer. Okay, so first blood goes to the French in this epic battle somewhere in Belgium with the end of turn 1. And welcome back at the end of the German player turn 2, ladies and gentlemen. And as we're looking at our roving sky cam here, we kind of notice, oh wait, oh no, the 2 German Panzer IIs, they're out. What happened? Well, the reality was they were bailed out. They tried to get back in, even with protected ammo. They failed spectacularly. And then there was a unit last stand chest, and the commander decided to beat it. So, 1 platoon down for the Germans. The Panzer IIIs decided to pick a fight with the Somois, and they had 2 hits. No effect. That Somois armor is very thick indeed. Okay, how are the French going to respond to this insult? Stay tuned and find out. Okay, so we are at the bottom half of turn 2. The French player concluded their half of the turn. All the Somois decided to do a blitz move and thus proceeded to open fire on the German Mark IIIs, bailing just 1 German tank. The Hotchkiss, in the meantime, decided to do a blitz move successfully, and they did a tactical move to open up on the Mark IIIs here, because that's the only targets they can have, and they failed. With that, with the lone German commander here in the Panzer II, and we got 3 Panzer IIIs left. The French have not taken a single casualty. What are the Germans going to do next? Now stay tuned for station identification.
This is the WRLD network. All miniature gaming, all the time. This is the WRLD network.
And welcome back, concluding the top half of turn 3, German player turn. The Mark III was unable to get back in. The crew, the rest of the platoon kind of pulled away from there, did a successful blitz move, went in there, down the alley to see, oh look, a couple of Hotchkisses. And basically they had hit the commander, but you know, oops, we hit the wrong guy and bailed out 2 Hotchkiss tanks. In the meantime, the fearless Panzer Commander decided to do a rough, desperate cross-country dash, 18 inches. You know, I got to admit, those Mark IIs, they are speedy little devils, aren't they? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, so that is the end for the German half of turn 3. Stay tuned. As we conclude the bottom half of French turn 3, you may notice the Somois have charged their way through. Yep, they succeeded in their blitz rolls and they moved on top of it. They took some shots here at the bailed out tank. One hit, no effect. One shot ended up on this poor guy here, but that was no effect. The French Hotchkiss guys are no more, as the 2 bailed out tanks failed to remount and they failed their unit test formation, their formation test, and they were gone. So now it's really winding down. Both sides are reduced down to 2 units each. One is the headquarters, one is the main battle tank. So this isn't over yet. Stay tuned for German turn 4. German half of turn 4, and turns out, or should I say turn 5. Anyways, the Germans did not remount their Panzer III. The other 2 Panzers, they failed their blitz move, and they moved to take shots. Now, of course, notice they try to hide a little bit behind the building so they can get a little bit of protection. The fearless leader swung around here, because ultimately what he wants to do is come around and hit them from the flank, because even though he has a 20mm gun, okay, it can AT power of 5, it can hit those guys, the Somois, who have a side armor of 3. Okay, so that's the action that's going on. We're now going to the French half of the turn. Stay tuned. Okay, as we conclude the French half of the turn, they failed their blitz moves. However, the Somois, they have charged. They are now getting a whole lot closer to the German tanks. And right now, it is going to look like a wild armored melee. And as it is, the French weren't able to hit a thing. That one-man turret rule is hurting them, Bob. What do you mean? Well, whenever a one-man turret tank, like the Somois here, if they move, they have to add a +1 to their to-hit roll. So, yeah, not too good. All right, we're going with the German half of the turn. Bottom half of the German turn, it's getting a little bit more tense, folks, because there has been an exchange of fire. It was no effect for this Panzer III on those guys, even though the commander got hit. But, oh, look, it was a mistake. Over here, though, the Panzer III did take out one Somois, proving that the French tanks, they can be eliminated. Now, in the meantime, the lone commander, the Panzer Commander, fired the autocannon into the side of the Somois, forcing him to bail out. Now, how are the French going to respond? Stay tuned for a word from our sponsor.
Are you tired of playing snakes and ladders? Are you tired of playing Pinnacle? Are you tired of your mother's Warhammer 40K Pink Space Marines taking on the Space Pansy Elves? Time for a real game. Welcome to Flames of War. Flames of War covers World War II in 15mm scale. Here you have all the rules to cover the midpoint of the war, 42 to 43. Each page is lavishly illustrated with colorful photographs, diagrams, charts for ease of play. This is Flames of War. Available at your fine, discriminating local game stores.
Okay, concluding the French half of the turn. The French stood their ground. They opened up on the Germans. They did hit they hit this guy and they hit this guy, but the armor shrugged it off. Oh, for hypervelocity armor piercing rounds. Now we're up to the German half of the turn. The fighting is fast and furious. German armor opened up on the 3 French tanks. They scored 5 hits. None of them penetrated. This tank opened up on the French commander here. Got him to bail out. The Panzer leader here opened up on this guy and caused him to bail twice, which means he's got to take a motivation. And he's not motivated enough. He is out. He is out of it. Boom. All right, we're going back to the French turn. End of the French turn. Wow, we ended up getting the Samoas stood and fired. Bailed this guy, blew up this guy. So now it's up to the Germans for their next turn. Interestingly enough, we're going to see if this guy can be remounted. Can it be done? Yes, he's doing it for Deutschland. He's back. And now the Germans are ready to open up on their movement. What will happen next? Wow, folks, what a fight. It was nail-biting to the end. The Panzer II and the Panzer III fired on the French commander, double-bailed him. When it was a question of him climbing back in, it was no. So he's out of the game, which now, for the French units that are left behind, there's only one French unit, that's the Samoa, and this guy took a shot but whiffed with a rate of fire of 3. He whiffed. Anyways, folks, that's it. The Germans do take it, but it wasn't without a price tag to go with it. All right, back to you in the studios.